What's up, people? My name is Rob Hotep L, broadcasting on behalf of 13SignsAstrology.com. Thank you for tuning in, thank you for listening, thank you for watching. In this particular episode, I'm going to talk about you, yourself. This is what astrology is about. This is what the occult is about. This is what it's all about. It's about you. See, the outside world is nothing but a mirage, a mirror. And even though the situations on the outside world don't always look exactly like you, as when you look into the mirror, they mirror you energetically, just like I talked about a couple of videos back. Well, in this episode, I want to talk about the devil aspect of you. I want to talk about the shaitan aspect of you. You see, I know me, myself personally, I'm the devil. Straight up and down. I'm the devil. I mean, we already know Clarence 13X, the 5% Nation taught us we were God. And we know this book of Psalms says, "Ye are all God's children of the Most High God." But God means force and power. But I'm talking about the devil now. See, nobody really came and told you that. You're the devil. And you didn't like how that sounded, because if you didn't, you're probably still religious. That's all it is. You're probably still programmed, and you probably still get stung when you hear certain words. Like you hear Lucifer, you're like, oh, Lucifer, oh, hell no, not that. I don't know what you're talking about. You hear these words, and then you get scared, you get scared, you get shook. But at the end of the day, you start researching these words, you'll find out that you are a rebel. Devil just means a rebel. You are a rogue. You definitely rebelled against something to get here. There's nobody in here that has not rebelled against something, even if it's rebelling against your own intentions or your own positive inclinations. You are the devil because you put yourself and you trapped yourself here in this flesh. When you incarnated here, you entrapped yourself in the demiurge, and you are trapped into a body that is a lot of times out of control. And you can't even control your five senses. A lot of people can't. So even though you tell yourself, I'm not going to eat today, I'm not going to eat for 24 hours, you're the devil when you go ahead and eat, because you rebelled against yourself. So you are the devil. But I'm here to tell you that it's not anything wrong with that. It's not anything wrong with that. It's only wrong when you don't know anything. You see, you really, the real evil is ignorance. And I teach my students, and I teach my people that when you deal with the occult, and when you deal with magic, there is really no such thing as positive magic. The only way you can really learn positive magic, if you will, is by learning negative magic. You have to start off with learning negative magic. What do I mean by that? You have to learn what not to do, so that you can learn what to do. If you don't know what not to do, you don't know what to do, because it's human nature to be more inclined to be weak. It's human nature to be more inclined to do, I guess you could say, the wrong thing. A lot of times in this society, they teach us that the wrong thing is really the path of least resistance. So you can do positive magic. Positive magic is if you go on a fast and you do a bunch of higher type of magic or whatever, but you can't really work positive magic until you first work negative magic. You have to find out what will happen if you overeat, or if you eat the wrong foods, and then you'll be inspired to eat the right foods. Just like the baby has to get burned, and then they understand what fire is. So then they can work positive magic. So you can't really, there's a such thing as positive magic, but you can't see it. You don't realize it until you first realize the wrong things to do, or really the wrong things to do is just dealing with ignorance though again. These are just things that people don't shed a lot of light on, because most people are taught to just eat. So most people don't really feel like there's anything wrong with eating. And it's only when you stop eating and start fasting, and then you'll learn that, oh, if I don't eat as much, or if I eat all raw foods, I'll build up more chi in myself, and I'll build up more positive energy, I'll build up more shin in myself, so maybe I shouldn't eat as much. But you have to go through a stage where you get sick, and a lot of times it gets sluggish before you learn that. This world is not really geared towards positive magic. So that's why I say that. So what I decided to do is I decided to put together the winter solstice ritual. And in the winter solstice ritual, I decided to focus on the negative aspects of yourself. I decided to focus on negativity, if you will. You may be thinking, so what are you saying in this winter solstice ritual that I could just go out here and do all the stuff that I want to do, and go out here and rob people, and go out here and get high and get drunk, and, because it's Christmas time. This is the time of year when people become more selfish. No, I'm not speaking on that level. Like when I talk about doing rituals, my rituals never involve harming people. Like when I talk about negativity, I'm not speaking negativity in the sense of going out and hurting innocent people, or going out and killing someone, or doing something like that. That's not, because that's really still a weakness. And most people, even though people are born and they're born to do wrong, like I was just talking about earlier, but it's funny how even a baby knows that when you harm somebody, there's something wrong with that. See, that's something that a baby actually knows. A baby knows, like if they throw a toy at you and it hits you, that baby may have never done that. And you just look at the baby and they'll know. They might start crying, like they know they did something wrong. It's inherent in your nature to that when you harm someone, and when you do negativity to others, it's already something programmed in you to know that you did something wrong. That's why anybody out here that's actually murked someone or really murked somebody for real, at the end of the day, you felt something. And really a murderer knows, all true murderers know that you gotta really kill one person before you become numb to that. Nobody really just comes out of the womb bloodthirsty and able to do stuff like that to people. You see, so that type of stuff acts against people and harming humanity. I'm not promoting that here. There are some magicians that do, and they promote that. They promote using blood and things of that nature. But I'm not promoting that here. That's for another video, another segment. I am going to do a video on sacrifice and the occult. I actually have one on my website, but I took it down. I'm getting ready to redo a lot of those videos and put them on YouTube. But I'm going to do a video on sacrifice and the occult, but this is not for that. So when I talk about negativity in the ritual, for those people that choose to sign up for it, know that it's not any type of harming people or going out and stealing from somebody or going out and figuring out a way to scheme and plot on somebody to take what's theirs without going against their free will. As I said in the summer solstice ritual, because I've already done the video and I've done the tape already, and as I was saying in that video, that Satan or Lucifer or whatever you want to call him in the Bible, he says, I only called and you came. So what this tells you is that Satan is one that's a learner. He's a learned man or woman. He's a thinker, believe it or not. In order to hold that title Satan, this means that he or she knows universal law. Because he knew it because he wouldn't have said that in the Bible. In the Bible, he says, I only called and you came. Satan never just went out and violated people's free wills and went out and did things to violate people's free will. He makes you consent. Now, you might not fully understand what he's doing and understand he's operating on universal law, and that's where Satan comes in. He's not going to explain to you a lot of times, like, well, yeah, this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to get you to consent so that I can do this. Now, I'm not saying that. I mean, he does lie, if you want to say it like that, but at the same time, he does things, he gets you to contract. And this is why the legal system is the only way to really understand Satan, is to really study the legal system, because he has to get you to consent. Remember in the movie Devil's Advocate, he said that he came back as a lawyer because that was like the priesthood for Satan, the law, the legal system, because he understood, he was saying that Al Pacino understood universal law. He knew that he had to get people to consent before he could feel justified in doing certain things, him taking all their money. And after you consent, he'll rob you blind, he'll rape you. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. Satan, when he does it, he's heartless. So he's not, that's the difference or whatever. He's not gonna feel any remorse, but he does understand about getting a person to consent. And that's what I'm pointing out here. But in this particular episode, I'm really talking about the dark aspect of yourself. So you have to learn how to benefit from the satanic dark aspect of yourself. A lot of people don't want to admit it. Every time I say the word, you might jump back out of your seat like, I'm not Satan, I'm not Lucifer. Yes, you are. You destroy yourself every day. You tell yourself you can't do things every day. That's Satan. Why would you tell yourself that? Oh, I can't do that. I'm not gonna be able to make it. You tell yourself all of this negative stuff, you're being a devil. You're being a Satan. You stab yourself in the back every day. So in this ritual, and I chose to do it during this time of year because this is the time of year when the sun dies. I don't know why the Christians say Jesus was born during this time of year. I really don't understand it, because I understand in the East, maybe it's because in some areas right now it's the summer. Like if you go to South Africa, places like that, it's the summer. I don't know. But I know at the end of the day in the northern hemisphere, this is the weakest point for the sun. We're going into the 21st on through the 24th. So this is the weakest point of the sun, and this is where we have the least amount of light on the planet. The shortest day of the year is somewhere around, and even the military bears witness to this, even the Marines bear witness to this, that the shortest the shortest day of the year is like on December 23rd, I think it is. That's the shortest day of the year. And the sun actually, what happens is after December the 21st, on the winter solstice, what happens is that even when they have fine instruments that measure this, the sun stands still for 3 days. It doesn't move a degree. And then after the 24th, it begins to move again. So this is why some people say that they chose to make Jesus' birthday on the 25th, is because this is the celebration of Jesus coming from out the underworld. He comes from up under the grips of Satan. But in order for him to understand who he was as the Christ and as the light, he had to go through the dark tunnels to understand that. See, a true light worker goes looking for light in very dark places. So a true light worker may have to one day spend some time inside of the pyramids of Giza. And they may have to sit inside of the sarcophagus or a tomb and meditate inside of a sarcophagus or a tomb in a very dark place and hide themselves from all light, just to come out and realize how much light is located within them. See, in the book, in the Emerald Tablets, Thoth talks about the halls of Amenti. And I'm going to do a video on that. But in the halls of Amenti, this is supposed to be, Amen is the dark side. See, the term Amen means the hidden rod. Amen Ray, when you say Amen Ray, this means the hidden rod. See, Christians say it all the time. They say Amen, because they're part of the brotherhood of Amen, not even realizing it. And Amen means hidden. This is where the light is hidden at. It's there, but it's hidden. You got to go find it. So this is why I designed this ritual, and you're going to hear certain terms if you decide to get the ritual. You're going to hear about Lucifer in this ritual. You're going to hear about Sutuk in this ritual, the warrior god, Ogun. You're going to hear about those different entities, and a lot of people, they well, stay away from those entities. What about Etum? Only talking about Etum, the high grader, the light. Why are you talking about all these dark entities? Why are you talking about Lucifer? Lucifer is the amber light, or Lucifer is the illusionary light, or the moonlight, the reflection of light. Why not talk about the sun, Ra? Like your name is Ra, so why not talk about that? It's because if you don't understand your shadow self, you could never understand your light self. So you got to worship yourself. You got to understand the dark aspect of yourself so that you can create better situations for yourself. You got to understand what would you do at your darkest point? A lot of people, they've never been faced with that. What would you do at your darkest point? And that's the darkest aspect of yourself. That's when you find out what you're really made of, when you go to the darkest part of yourself. It's not in the light. It's not when everything's going good and hunky-dory. It's when you find out about what you're built of and what you're made of. It's when you go into the tombs and into the caves and the darkness of yourself. When you're in a room all by yourself. That's why the ritual, I designed it. You're in a room by yourself in this particular ritual, because this is when you find out who you are. See, a negative, I'll make this point and I shut the video down. But you understand mathematics and numbers. A negative multiplied times a negative is what? A positive. If I multiply two negative numbers against each other, it becomes positive. This is a universal law. So this is telling you that if you learn how to multiply your negative experiences against each other and play negativity against each other, you can create a positive picture. You notice that even in the photography industry, when you work with the negative, you have the negatives and then you have the positives. And the negatives look all dark and gray, but it takes the negatives to create the positives. You'll notice that when you look at the plus symbol, you see a negative symbol in it. The plus symbol is not a symbol in and of itself. It takes the negative symbol or the minus symbol to create the plus symbol or the positive symbol. So in mathematics, even varying numbers bear witness to what I'm teaching and what I'm talking about. You see, you have to learn how to benefit from your negative experiences, and many of you have no means of doing that. Because what I mean by benefit from your negative experiences is many of you have no outlet to do that, so the negativity only destroys you. It only defeats you because you don't have a way to benefit from that because you're not conscious enough to do it of who you are yourself, so you can't really benefit from it if you're not conscious of it. Like if I know that I'm the type of person that when I get emotional or when I get upset, I get cocky, and I get loud and I get obnoxious and things like that, then I can learn how to call on that part of myself when I need to be that way. Because there may be a time when I need to get like that to get to where I'm going. I may need to call it. I may be a mild, meek person for most of the time, but then the negative part of me may just be the fact that I get emotional and cocky and, say whatever I want to say and don't really too much care about what a person's thinking, just do me type of mentality and not really caring about the whole. If I know that about myself, I can be getting benefit from it because I can learn how to call on it at will versus allowing this to happen or letting this to happen ignorantly and unconsciously. So this is why, beloveds, I teach that the ignorant aspect of yourself is really the negative aspect of yourself. Just because you get angry or just because you may have a problem going out and cheating on your wife. Yeah, I said that. I mean, that's violating free will and you violating a contract within yourself. But if you know that it's something about you that makes you want to go out and do those things, I know a lot of women may not want to hear this, but if you know as a man it's something in you that makes you want to go out and cheat, you need to ask yourself, why do you need to cheat? Are you scared of your wife? Do you have fear? Why did you give your word? Basically what I'm saying is, why did you give your word knowing that really deep down inside you don't have what it takes to be a faithful person? Or you might even go dig and deeper and ask yourself, why do you even feel like you need to cheat in the first place? What are you getting from this? Is there something you feel inadequate? Do you have self-esteem issues? See, this is what I mean about the negative aspect of yourself. See, most people are ignorant to the negative aspect of yourself. They just do it. They don't really think about why. So in this ritual, I hope you guys decide to go ahead and, get it. The Winter Solstice ritual is available. I'm going to leave a link below. You can order it through that link. But if you decide to get it, it's designed to help you to create the life that you want from working with the darker aspects of yourself and learning how to turn those darker aspects into light. It's designed to help you not to go out and rob somebody during Christmas time just so you can go buy your kids some gift. You can maybe learn how to work with the dark aspect of yourself, and maybe you can manifest something from your children from working with the dark aspect of yourself. Maybe the dark aspect of yourself is very cynical and you work at a job, but really deep down inside you're cynical and you're kind of funny and you're more of a comedian. Or maybe you decide to go ahead and do some stand-up somewhere publicly on the corners in New York somewhere, and maybe people start putting money in your bucket just because you're doing stand-up, and maybe you'll make some money off of the cynical, negative, so-called negative aspect of yourself. So it's not a ritual that's designed to harm people. It's not a ritual that's designed to hurt anyone, but it is a ritual designed to go into some of the crevices and, the shadow aspect of the self and teaching you how to benefit from that. So I hope you guys had fun with it. If you guys do have any questions about the Winter Solstice ritual, you can always shoot me an email, go to my website or whatever, what may have you, and shoot me an email. But the ritual is very affordable, just like all my rituals are. And I suggest you guys do it. This is actually my first time, I believe, on this channel doing a Winter Solstice ritual. So you guys enjoy. I wish you much light. But again, to get to that light, you're going to have to go through the cave and go through the dark aspect of yourself. So until we meet again,